1. Introduction. What if you were forced to race for your life in a deadly contest? Welcome to Death Race. Imagine a world where your freedom hinges on your ability to survive a brutal car race filled with lethal traps and ruthless competitors. Sounds intense, right? This is the gripping premise of Death Race, a movie that takes high-octane action to a whole new level. Released in 2008, Death Race is an action-packed thriller that has captivated audiences with its relentless pace and explosive scenes. The movie stars Jason Statham as Jensen Ames, a former race car driver who finds himself framed for a crime he didn't commit. To win his freedom, he must compete in a deadly race organized by the warden of a notorious prison. Alongside Statham, the film features Natalie Martinez as Case, a tough and resourceful navigator Joan as Warden Hennessy, the cold and calculating mastermind behind the race, and Janaya Stephens as Susie Ames, whose tragic fate propels Jensen into the deadly contest. In this video, we're going to dive deep into the world of Death Race. You'll get a full movie review, character insights, and a behind-the-scenes look at how this action-packed film was made. We'll uncover fascinating facts that you won't find anywhere else and explore the unique elements that make Death Race stand out in the action genre. From the intensive training Jason Statham underwent for his role to the innovative filming techniques used to capture the high-speed action, we've got it all covered. Stay tuned for an engaging and comprehensive breakdown of Death Race. Whether you're a long-time fan of the movie or new to its thrilling world, this video will provide you with fresh perspectives and intriguing details that will enhance your appreciation of this cinematic ride. Let's buckle up and get ready to race through the world of Death Race. 2. Movie background. Plot summary. Death Race is set in a dystopian future where economic collapse and rising crime rates have turned prisons into for-profit enterprises. In this grim world, Terminal Island Penitentiary hosts the most extreme sport imaginable, a death race. This televised event features convicts racing heavily armored cars on deadly tracks, with freedom promised to any driver who can win 5 races. The story follows Jensen Ames, a former race car driver who has fallen on hard times. After being framed for his wife's murder, Jensen is sent to Terminal Island. There, he is coerced by Warden Hennessy into taking on the persona of Frankenstein, a legendary racer who recently died. Frankenstein's identity is kept secret to keep his fan base and the race's popularity intact. Forced into the role, Jensen must navigate a series of races filled with deadly traps, ruthless competitors, and his own quest for survival. With the help of his pit crew and navigator Case, he fights to uncover the truth behind his framing and find a way to win his freedom. The race is not just about skill but also strategy, as Jensen must outwit his opponents and the manipulative warden. Setting. The film paints a bleak picture of the future, where society has descended into chaos and decay. The setting of Terminal Island Penitentiary reflects dystopia perfectly. It's an industrial wasteland, with rusting structures, grimy corridors, and an air of perpetual menace. The prison is isolated, surrounded by water, making escape impossible. The race tracks are equally formidable. They are littered with obstacles designed to kill or incapacitate the drivers. Each car is equipped with weapons and defenses, turning the race into a deadly combat zone. The gritty industrial design of the tracks and cars enhances the movie's harsh, brutal atmosphere. The prison's operations are funded by the race, which is broadcast live to a bloodthirsty audience. This aspect of the setting underscores the film's critique of a society that exploits human suffering for entertainment and profit. The stark, oppressive environment of Terminal Island sets the stage for the intense, high-stakes drama that unfolds. Key themes. Death Race delves into several compelling themes. 1. Survival. The primary theme of Death Race is survival. Jensen Ames must navigate a series of deadly races, using his wits and driving skills to stay alive. Every race is a fight for survival, not just against the other drivers, but against the deadly traps set along the course. This theme is emphasized by the relentless pace of the movie and the constant threat of death. 2. Corruption. The film portrays a society rife with corruption. The prison warden, Hennessy, represents the corrupt system that exploits prisoners for profit. She manipulates the races to ensure maximum entertainment value, showing little regard for human life. The framing of Jensen for his wife's murder also highlights the corruption that permeates this dystopian world. 3. Freedom. The quest for freedom drives the narrative. Jensen's participation in the death race is his only chance to escape the hellish life in prison and clear his name. The promise of freedom is a powerful motivator, both for Jensen and the other drivers. This theme is explored through Jensen's determination to win the races and expose the truth behind his framing. 4. Identity and deception. The use of the Frankenstein persona explores themes of identity and deception. Jensen is forced to assume another man's identity, adding layers of complexity to his character. This deception is not just a plot device but also a commentary on how identity can be manipulated and controlled by those in power. 5. Human nature. The film examines the darker aspects of human nature, such as the lust for violence and the willingness to exploit others for entertainment. The enthusiastic audience of the death race represents society's desensitization to violence and suffering. This theme is a critique of how media and entertainment can distort and exploit human instincts. 6. Revenge and justice. Jensen's journey is also one of revenge and justice. Framed for a crime he didn't commit, he seeks to uncover the truth and bring those responsible to justice. This theme adds a layer of moral complexity to the film, as Jensen's quest for revenge intersects with his fight for survival. These themes are woven throughout the movie, adding depth to the high-octane action. Death Race is not just a mindless action flick but a film that explores significant societal issues through its dystopian setting and intense plot. The combination of survival, corruption, and the quest for freedom makes it a gripping and thought-provoking movie. By understanding the plot, setting, and themes, viewers can appreciate the layers of storytelling that make Death Race more than just a race to the finish line. It's a story of resilience, cunning, and the human spirit's unyielding desire for freedom in the face of overwhelming odds. 3. Cast and characters. Jason Statham, Jensen Ames. Lowland performance. Jason Statham, known for his roles in action-packed films, brings his signature tough guy charisma to the role of Jensen Ames. Jensen is a man wrongfully accused of his wife's murder, thrust into the brutal world of Death Race. Statham's portrayal of Jensen is intense and gritty, perfectly fitting the character's arc of survival and revenge. He embodies the physicality and resilience needed for the role, making his performance both convincing and compelling. Key scenes. Introduction scene: we first meet Jensen as a loving husband and father. This stark contrast to his later circumstances establishes a strong emotional connection with the audience. Prison arrival: Statham's performance shines as Jensen is processed into the harsh environment of Terminal Island. His stoic demeanor and serene defiance set the tone for his character. First race: in the initial race, Statham's skills are on full display. The raw, visceral energy he brings to the driving scenes is a highlight, making the audience feel every twist and turn. Confrontation with Warden Hennessy: Statham's interactions with John Allen Warden Hennessy are charged with tension. His controlled anger and determination are palpable, showcasing his acting range. Final race and escape: the climax sees Jensen taking down his enemies and making a daring escape. Statham's physical prowess and stunt work make this a memorable and thrilling conclusion. Natalie Martinez case. Role and impact. Natalie Martinez plays Case, Jensen's navigator in the death race. Case is crucial to Jensen's survival, providing tactical support and displaying fierce determination. Martinez's portrayal is strong and assertive, bringing depth to a character that might otherwise be overshadowed by the male leads. She adds a layer of complexity, showing resilience and resourcefulness in the face of danger. Character development. Introduction. Case is introduced as a tough, no-nonsense character. She's experienced in the races and understands the stakes. Building trust throughout the film. Case and Jensen develop a mutual respect and trust. Martinez's performance highlights this growing bond, crucial for their survival. Key races in the races. Case's tactical knowledge is indispensable. Her quick thinking and strategic planning help Jensen navigate the deadly courses. Revealing vulnerability in theater moments. Martinez shows Case's vulnerability and past trauma. This adds depth to her character, making her more relatable and human. Climactic battle. In the final race, Case's loyalty and bravery are on full display. She risks her life to help Jensen, cementing her role as a key ally. Joan Allen Warden Hennessy. Portrayal. Joan Allen's performance as Warden Hennessy is icy and commanding. She plays the role with a cold, calculating precision that adds a layer of menace and authority. Hennessy is the mastermind behind the death race, and Allen's portrayal captures her ruthless nature perfectly. Her character is a formidable antagonist, embodying the corrupt system Jensen must fight against. Influence on plot. Introduction of the race. Hennessy is introduced as the architect of the death race. Her motivations are clear: profit and control. She manipulates the rulers and drivers to ensure maximum entertainment value. Interaction with Jensen. Interactions with Jensen are pivotal. She sees him as a pawn in her game, but underestimates his determination. Allen's portrayal of Hennessy's cold demeanor and strategic mind drives the conflict forward. Manipulating the game. Hennessy's character continually raises the stakes, adding obstacles and changing rules to ensure Jensen's failure. This creates constant tension and unpredictability. Final confrontation. In the film's climax, Hennessy's control unravels. Allen's performance captures her desperation and ultimate downfall as Jensen turns the tables on her. Janaya Stephen Susie Ames. Role and contribution. Janaya Stephens plays Susie Ames, Jensen's wife. Though her screen time is limited, her role is crucial. Susie's tragic fate is the catalyst for Jensen's journey. Stephens' portrayal is heartfelt and emotional, providing the emotional depth that fuels Jensen's motivation. Emotional impact. Family scenes. The early scenes showing Jensen, Susie, and their daughter set the emotional groundwork. Stephens' warm and loving performance makes the subsequent tragedy more impactful. Murder and framing. Susie's murder is a shocking and pivotal moment. Though brief, Stephens' presence in these scenes is powerful, leaving a lasting impression on both Jensen and the audience. Motivating Jensen throughout the film. Flashbacks to Susie and memories of their life together provided Jensen with the strength to endure the brutal races. Stephens' role, though small, is essential in driving the emotional core of the story. Closure. By the film's end, Jensen's quest for revenge and justice for Susie's death is a driving force. Stephens' portrayal helps anchor the narrative, reminding viewers of what Jensen is fighting for. Each actor brings something unique to Death Race, enhancing the film's appeal. Jason Statham's physicality and intensity make Jensen Ames a memorable protagonist. Natalie Martinez's strong, assertive presence as Case adds depth and complexity. Joan Allen's cold, commanding performance as Warden Hennessy creates a formidable antagonist. Finally, Janaya Stephens' emotional portrayal of Susie Ames provides the heart and motivation behind Jensen's quest for survival and justice. Together, they create a dynamic and engaging ensemble that drives the movie forward, making it an unforgettable action thriller. By focusing on these characters and their contributions to the story, we can appreciate the layers of performance and narrative that make Death Race more than just an action movie. It's a story of survival, resilience, and the fight against corruption, brought to life by a talented cast. 4. Production insights. Director and writers. Creative team. Death Race was directed by Paul W.S. Anderson, a filmmaker well known for his work on the Resident Evil series. Anderson's experience in creating high-energy, visually striking action films made him a perfect fit for Death Race. The screenplay was co-written by Anderson and J.F. Lawton, who also contributed to the movie's dark and gritty atmosphere. Vision and style. Anderson and Lawton envisioned Death Race as a reimagining of the 1975 cult classic Death Race 2000. They aimed to update the story with modern action sensibilities while retaining the original satirical edge. Anderson's directorial style, marked by fast-paced editing and dynamic camera work, is evident throughout the film. He brought a visceral, high-octane approach to the action sequences, ensuring that each race felt intense and immediate. Anderson's vision for the movie was to create a believable dystopian future where the brutality of the races reflected the desperation of the characters. The use of practical effects, combined with CGI, helped achieve this vision, making the action sequences more immersive. His focus on character-driven storytelling within the framework of an action movie added depth to the plot, making Death Race more than just a spectacle of violence. Filming locations. Locations used. Death Race was primarily shot in Montreal, Canada. The city's industrial areas and abandoned factories provided the perfect backdrop for the movie's dystopian setting. The gritty, weathered look of these locations enhanced the film's dark and futuristic tone, making the world of Death Race feel real and tangible. Interesting facts. One of the key locations used for filming was the Montreal Biosphere, an architectural landmark originally built for Expo 67. Its unique structure and stark appearance were perfect for the film's futuristic prison setting. The production team transformed parts of the Biosphere and other Montreal locations to create the various racetracks and prison interiors. During filming, the cast and crew faced challenges due to the harsh weather conditions in Montreal. The cold and rainy climate added an extra layer of difficulty to the outdoor shoots, particularly for the action scenes. Despite these challenges, the team managed to complete the filming on schedule, with the weather conditions even contributing to the movie's grim and gritty aesthetic. The film also utilized several large warehouses and industrial sites in Montreal, which were converted into the deadly racetracks. These locations provided the space needed for the high-speed chases and explosive stunts, allowing the filmmakers to capture the intense action sequences in a controlled environment. Stunts and effects. Creation of action scenes. The action scenes in Death Race are a mix of practical effects and CGI, creating a seamless and thrilling experience. The filmmakers prioritized practical stunts wherever possible to maintain a sense of realism and danger. The intense car chases and explosive stunts were meticulously choreographed and executed by a skilled team of stunt drivers and coordinators. Behind-the-scenes techniques. To film the high-speed race scenes, the production team used a combination of real cars and custom-built camera rigs. These rigs allowed the filmmakers to capture dynamic shots from within the vehicles, placing the audience right in the middle of the action. Specially designed camera cars, equipped with advanced stabilization systems, were used to follow the racing vehicles at high speeds, ensuring smooth and steady footage. One notable technique used in filming the race scenes was the use of buck rigs. These are car chassis mounted on hydraulic platforms that can simulate the movements of a real car. The actors could sit in these rigs and perform their scenes while they mimic the emotions of racing, providing a safe and controlled environment for filming. This method allowed the filmmakers to capture close-up shots of the actors while maintaining the illusion of high-speed racing. The film's explosive stunts were achieved through a mix of practical effects and CGI enhancements. Real explosions and pyrotechnics were used on set to create the initial blasts and debris, while CGI was employed to enhance these effects and add additional elements such as flying shrapnel and fire. This combination of practical and digital effects ensured that the action scenes were both realistic and visually spectacular. Another key aspect of the production was the design and construction of the cars used in the races. Each vehicle was custom built to withstand the rigors of the stunts and equipped with various weapons and armor to match the film's dystopian aesthetic. The cars were designed to be functional and durable, allowing the stunt drivers to perform complex maneuvers and crashes without compromising safety. The coordination between the stunt team and the special effects department was crucial to the success of the action scenes. Detailed planning and rehearsals were conducted for each stunt, ensuring that every element, from the timing of explosions to the movements of the cars, was perfectly synchronized. This meticulous approach allowed the filmmakers to capture the high-intensity action sequences that are a hallmark of Death Race. Paul W.S. Anderson's direction, combined with the expertise of the stunt team and special effects crew, resulted in some of the most memorable and thrilling scenes in the film. The use of practical effects, coupled with CGI enhancements, created a sense of realism and immediacy that kept audiences on the edge of their seats. Through these production insights, we can appreciate the intricate work and dedication that went into making Death Race a visually stunning and action-packed film. The creative vision of Paul W.S. Anderson and J.F. Lawton, the careful selection of filming locations, and the innovative techniques used in the stunts and effects all contributed to the movie's success. By understanding the behind-the-scenes efforts, viewers can gain a deeper appreciation for the artistry and craftsmanship involved in bringing this dystopian action thriller to life. 5. Behind-the-scenes facts. Casting choices. Interesting casting stories. Casting Jason Statham as Jensen Ames was a pivotal decision that greatly influenced the film's tone and energy. Known for his roles in action films, Statham was an obvious choice for the role of a tough, resilient protagonist. To add authenticity to his performance, Statham underwent rigorous training to perform many of his own stunts. This commitment to his role involved extensive physical conditioning, learning advanced driving techniques, and rehearsing fight choreography. Statham's hands-on approach to the action sequences brought a level of realism and intensity that enhanced the overall impact of the film. Natalie Martinez was cast as Case, Jensen's navigator, after a comprehensive search for an actress who could bring both toughness and vulnerability to the role. Martinez's strong screen presence and physicality made her a perfect fit for the character, who needed to be both a capable partner in the races and a relatable, sympathetic figure. Joan Allen's casting as Warden Hennessy was an inspired choice that added significant gravitas to the film. Known for her powerful performances in dramatic roles, Allen brought a level of sophistication and menace to the character of the Warden. Her portrayal added depth and complexity to the film's antagonist, making Hennessy a memorable and formidable opponent for Jensen. Janaya Stephens was cast as Susie Ames, Jensen's wife, after a search for an actress who could convey warmth and emotional depth in a limited screen time. Stephens' performance provided the emotional anchor for Jensen's motivations, making her role crucial despite her brief appearances, changes and decisions. There were several notable casting changes and decisions during the pre-production phase. Initially, other actors were considered for the role of Jensen Ames, but the filmmakers ultimately decided on Jason Statham due to his proven track record in action films and his ability to perform stunts. This decision was instrumental in shaping the film's action-oriented approach. The character of Case underwent significant development during the casting process. The filmmakers wanted an actress who could not only handle the physical demands of the role, but also bring a sense of realism and depth to the character. Natalie Martinez's audition impressed the creative team, leading to her casting and subsequent expansion of her character's role in the story. Challenges. Production difficulties. Death Race faced numerous production challenges, one of the most significant being the coordination of complex stunts. The film's high-octane action sequences require precise planning and execution, with a strong emphasis on safety. The production team had to design and choreograph car chases and crashes that were both thrilling and feasible to film. Managing tight shooting schedules was another major challenge. The filmmakers had to balance the demands of the action sequences with the need to capture dramatic scenes, often within the constraints of limited time and resources. This required meticulous planning and efficient use of filming days to stay on schedule. Weather conditions in Montreal also posed difficulties. The cold and rainy climate impacted outdoor shoots, making it harder to maintain continuity and safety during the high-speed races and stunts. The crew had to adapt to these conditions, ensuring that the filming could continue despite the adverse weather. Overcoming obstacles. To overcome the challenges of coordinating complex stunts, the filmmakers assembled a top-notch team of stunt coordinators and drivers. Detailed pre-visualization and rehearsals were conducted for each stunt, allowing the team to plan every movement and timing precisely. This preparation ensured that the stunts could be executed safely and effectively, minimizing the risk of accidents. The tight shooting schedule was managed through efficient planning and resource allocation. The production team prioritized key scenes and used multiple camera setups to capture different angles simultaneously, reducing the need for additional takes. This approach allowed the filmmakers to maximize their shooting time and stay on track. To deal with the unpredictable weather, the crew implemented contingency plans that included indoor shoots and flexible scheduling. When outdoor conditions were unfavorable, they shifted focus to interior scenes or used cover sets to continue filming. This adaptability helped keep the production on schedule despite the weather challenges. Special techniques. Unique filming methods. One of the standout features of Death Race was its innovative camera work, which captured the high-speed action in a way that provided a visceral experience for viewers. The filmmakers employed a range of techniques to achieve this, including the use of specialized camera rigs and dynamic shooting styles. In-car cameras to bring viewers into the heart of the action. The filmmakers used in-car cameras mounted on the vehicles. These cameras provided intimate, first-person perspectives of the races, making the audience feel as though they were inside the cars with the drivers. This technique enhanced the sense of speed and danger, immersing viewers in the intense experience of the death race. Camera cars and rigs. The production utilized specially designed camera cars equipped with advanced stabilization systems to follow the racing vehicles at high speeds. These camera cars allow for smooth, dynamic tracking shots that captured the excitement of the chases and stunts. The rigs were capable of maneuvering alongside the race cars, providing a variety of angles and perspectives. GoPro cameras. The use of GoPro cameras added an additional layer of immersion to the film. These compact, high-definition cameras were mounted in various locations on the cars, capturing footage from unconventional angles. The resulting shots provided a raw, unfiltered view of the action, adding to the film's gritty, realistic aesthetic. Slow motion and high-speed filming. Slow motion and high-speed filming techniques were employed to enhance key moments of the action sequences. Slow motion was used to highlight the impact of crashes and explosions, allowing viewers to appreciate the details of the stunts. High-speed filming captured the rapid movements of the cars, adding to the sense of urgency and intensity. Visual effects integration. While practical effects were a priority, Visual effects played a crucial role in enhancing the action scenes. CGI was used to add elements that were too dangerous or impossible to achieve practically, such as certain explosions, weapon effects, and background enhancements. The integration of visual effects with practical stunts created a seamless and visually spectacular experience. Aerial shots, drone and helicopter shots were used to capture aerial views of the racetracks and chases. These shots provided a broad perspective of the action, showcasing the scale and complexity of the race courses. The aerial footage added a dramatic, cinematic quality to the film, emphasizing the scope of the death race events. These special techniques and behind-the-scenes efforts highlight the dedication and creativity that went into making Death Race. The innovative use of cameras, the combination of practical and visual effects, and the meticulous planning of stunts all contributed to creating a film that is both visually stunning and emotionally engaging. By understanding these behind-the-scenes elements, viewers can gain a deeper appreciation for the artistry and technical skill involved in bringing the high-octane world of Death Race to life. 6. Reception and impact. Box office performance. Financial success. Death Race was released in August 2008, and despite receiving mixed reviews from critics, it managed to perform well at the box office. The film grossed over $75 million worldwide, surpassing its production budget of approximately $5 million. This financial success highlighted the movie's appeal to fans of high-octane action and gritty storytelling. The film opened to $12.6 million in its first weekend in the United States, securing the third spot at the box office. Its strong opening was driven by Jason Statham's star power and the movie's promise of intense action sequences. Over the following weeks, Death Race maintained steady attendance, bolstered by positive word of mouth from action movie enthusiasts. Internationally, the film found a receptive audience, particularly in markets with a strong appetite for action films. Countries like the United Kingdom, Russia, and South Korea contributed significantly to its global box office earnings. The movie's universal themes of survival and rebellion resonated with audiences worldwide, helping it achieve a commercial success. Critical reviews. Overview of reviews. Critical reception for Death Race was mixed, with reviews highlighting both its strengths and weaknesses. On the positive side, critics praised the film's action sequences and visual style. The high-energy car chases, explosive stunts, and gritty atmosphere were frequently mentioned as standout elements that made the film exciting and visually engaging. Roger Ebert, a well-known film critic, gave the film a relatively positive review, noting its effectiveness as a straightforward action film. He appreciated the film's commitment to delivering adrenaline, pumping sequences, and acknowledged Jason Statham's strong presence as a leading man. Ebert's review encapsulated the general sentiment among critics who enjoyed the film's action elements. However, some critics were less enthusiastic about the movie's story and character development. They felt that the plot was predictable and that the characters lacked depth and complexity. The film's focus on action over narrative substance was a common critique, with some reviewers feeling that the story didn't provide enough emotional engagement or originality. On Rotten Tomatoes, the film holds a rating of around 42%, indicating a mixed reception. While the action and production values received praise, the screenplay and character arcs were viewed as underdeveloped. Despite these criticisms, many reviewers acknowledged that Death Race delivered what it promised: a thrilling, action-packed experience. Audience reaction. Viewer feedback. While critical reviews were mixed, audience reaction to Death Race was generally more positive. Many viewers appreciated the film for its straightforward approach to action and entertainment. Jason Statham's performance as Jensen Ames was particularly well received, with audiences praising his tough guy charisma and physicality. Statham's ability to perform many of his own stunts added to the authenticity of his character and endeared him to fans of the genre. The film's intense action sequences were a major draw for viewers. The high-speed car chases, brutal combat scenes, and explosive stunts were highlighted as the film's main attractions. Fans of action movies found Death Race to be a satisfying entry in the genre, delivering the kind of high-energy thrills they were looking for. Death Race also developed a cult following over time. Its blend of dystopian themes, gritty visuals, and relentless action resonated with a segment of the audience that appreciated its no-nonsense approach to storytelling. The film's success on home video streaming platforms further cemented its status as a cult favorite. Fans appreciated the film's dedication to delivering pure, unfiltered action, and many enjoyed rewatching it for its exhilarating set pieces and memorable performances. Online forums and social media platforms saw discussions about the film's impact and its place within the action genre. Many viewers shared their favorite scenes and moments, often highlighting the race sequences and Statham's performance. The film's influence on subsequent action movies, particularly those involving vehicular combat and dystopian settings, was also noted by fans and commentators. In conclusion, Death Race experienced a mixed critical reception but found considerable success at the box office and among audiences. Its financial performance demonstrated the strong appeal of action-driven narratives, and its cult status highlighted its lasting impact on fans of the genre. The combination of thrilling action sequences, Jason Statham's compelling performance, and a gritty, dystopian setting ensured that Death Race left a lasting impression on viewers, contributing to its enduring popularity. 7. Comparisons and influences. Original base. Remark. Comparison with Death Race 2000. Death Race 2008 is a loose remake of the 1975 cult classic Death Race 2000. While both films share a basic premise of a deadly race, they diverge significantly in style, tone, and narrative approach. The original Death Race 2000, directed by Paul Bartel, is known for its satirical and campy take on the concept of a cross-country race, where points are scored by running over pedestrians. The 1975 film, starring David Carradine and Sylvester Stallone, used dark humor and political satire to critique the nature of entertainment and violence in society. In contrast, the 2008 remake, directed by Paul W.S. Anderson, takes a more serious and gritty approach. Set in a dystopian future where the races are broadcast as a form of brutal entertainment for prisoners, the film focuses on intense action and high-stakes drama. The satire of the original is replaced by a straightforward action narrative centered on survival and rebellion. Differences. Tone and style. The 1975 film's tone is more satirical and comedic, reflecting its critique of societal violence and media. The 2008 remake, on the other hand, adopts a darker, more intense approach, emphasizing high-octane action and dramatic tension. Set in the original film is set in a future where the race spans the entire country, with a focus on the absurdity of the competition. The remake is confined to a prison setting, adding a more contained and focused environment that enhances the film's sense of claustrophobia and desperation. Characters. While both films feature a race with ruthless competitors, the characters in the original film are more caricatured and exaggerated. The 2008 version presents a more realistic and grounded portrayal of its characters, focusing on their personal struggles and motivations. Violence. The original film's violence is presented in a more tongue-in-cheek manner, whereas the remake portrays violence in a raw and visceral way, aligned with its gritty aesthetic. Similarities. Central premise. Both films center around a deadly race, where participants compete in a high-stakes competition involving significant risks and challenges. The core idea of a race as a form of entertainment remains a central theme. Dystopian elements. Each film features a dystopian setting where the race reflects broader societal issues. The original film critique is media sensationalism, while a remake explores themes of survival and corruption within a bleak, authoritarian world. Action-focused both films emphasize action and spectacle. The original features imaginative vehicle designs and outrageous stunts, while the remake showcases high-speed chases and intense combat sequences. Influences. Amanita media influences. Death Race draws on several influential films and media that have shaped its style and narrative. Notable influences include Mad Max 1979. George Miller's Mad Max is a seminal dystopian action film that significantly influenced Death Race. The post-apocalyptic setting, high-octane car chases, and relentless action in Mad Max can be seen in the intense racing sequences and gritty atmosphere of Death Race. The Running Man 1987, directed by Paul Michael Glaser and based on a Stephen King story. The Running Man features a similar concept of a televised competition where participants fight for survival. The blend of action, dystopian themes, and the concept of a televised death race in The Running Man parallels the central premise of Death Race. Escape from New York 1981. John Carpenter's film presents a dystopian future where a city is turned into a maximum security prison. The idea of a green, lawless environment and the focus on a central character's struggle to escape can be seen as an influence on the prison setting and survival themes in Death Race. Legacy. Impact on pop culture. Death Race has left a lasting impact on pop culture, particularly within the action genre. Its blend of high-speed car chases, brutal combat, and a dystopian setting has influenced subsequent films, video games, and other media. Action films. The movie's success helped popularize a style of action filmmaking that emphasizes relentless pace, intense stunts, and a gritty, dystopian atmosphere. Films that followed, such as Mad Max Fury Road and various other action-packed thrillers, have drawn inspiration from the high-octane approach seen in Death Race. Video games. The concept of vehicular combat and racing, central to Death Race, has been reflected in video games that feature similar elements. Games like Twisted Metal and Flat Out incorporate high-speed racing and destructive stunts, echoing the film's influence on the gaming world. Cult status. Over time, Death Race has developed a cult following among fans of action films and dystopian media. Its unique blend of car chases, explosive action, and a dark, futuristic setting has cemented its place as a notable entry in the genre. Fans continue to celebrate the film's memorable scenes and performances, contributing to its enduring legacy. In summary, Death Race stands as a notable remake of the 1975 cult classic, with significant differences and similarities that reflect its modern adaptation. Its influences from other dystopian and action films are evident in its style and narrative, and its impact on pop culture has been felt across films, video games, and fan communities. The film's legacy continues to resonate, showcasing its contribution to the genre and its place in cinematic history. 8. Fun facts and trivia. Interesting tidbits. Lesser known facts. Jason Statham's stunt work. Jason Statham is known for his commitment to performing his own stunts, and Death Race is no exception. He underwent extensive training to handle the high-speed chases and complex fight sequences featured in the film. Statham's dedication to performing many of his own stunts added authenticity and intensity to the action scenes. For instance, the high-speed car chases were particularly demanding, and Statham's involvement in these scenes contributed to the film's thrilling and realistic feel. Car customization. The film features a variety of customized vehicles designed specifically for the race sequences. These cars were equipped with advanced modifications and weaponry to make them look more menacing and battle-ready. The designs were a collaboration between the filmmakers and automotive specialists to create a distinct visual style that matched the film's dystopian setting. Some of these vehicles were actually functional and used in the high-speed scenes, showcasing impressive engineering and craftsmanship. Natalie Martinez's role, Natalie Martinez, who played Casey, had to learn several driving techniques to convincingly portray a skilled navigator in the high-speed races. Her role required not only acting but also a degree of physical training to perform the demanding scenes effectively. Martinez's commitment to her role added to the film's realism and dynamic action. Behind-the-scenes stories. Jason Statham's injuries during the filming of the action sequences. Jason Statham sustained several minor injuries. One notable incident involved a particularly intense stunt where Statham was thrown from a vehicle. Despite his extensive training, he suffered a few bruises and scrapes. His resilience and dedication to completing the stunts contributed to the film's gritty and authentic portrayal of action. Set challenges. The production faced challenges with the complex stunts and car chases, especially during Montreal's unpredictable weather. On one occasion, a heavy snowfall threatened to halt filming. The crew quickly adapted by modifying the planned scenes to accommodate the snow, turning a potential setback into an opportunity to add unique visual elements to the film. This flexibility demonstrated the crew's ability to overcome obstacles and maintain the film's momentum. Director's approach. Director Paul Wes Anderson, known for his work on the Resident Evil series, brought his signature style to Death Race. Anderson's approach to filming involved a focus on practical effects and dynamic camera work. He encouraged the cast and crew to push the limits of what was possible in the action sequences. One amusing anecdote involves Anderson's enthusiasm for capturing the perfect shot, which sometimes led to multiple takes and creative adjustments on set. Easter eggs. Hidden details. Not to the original Death Race 2001 of the fun Easter eggs, in the 2008 remake is a subtle nod to the 1975 film Death Race 2000. David Carradine, the star of the original film, makes a brief cameo appearance. His role as a news commentator provides a connection between the two films and serves as a tribute to the original cult classic. Fans of the 1975 film can spot Carradine's cameo as a fun reference to the new movie that inspired the remake. Vehicle designs. The customized vehicles in Death Race include the design elements that pay homage to the original Death Race 2000. For example, some of the cars in the 2008 film feature stylized modifications and weaponry that echo the exaggerated designs of the 1975 film. These design choices are a nod to the film's predecessor and add an additional layer of connection between the two movies. Car names. The cars in Death Race have names that reflect their brutal and aggressive nature. For instance, the car driven by Jason Statham's character is named the Joker, a name that hints at the character's rebellious and defiant nature. These names are not just functional but also serve as subtle references to the film's themes and the characters' personalities. Additional trivia. Influence on future films. The success and style of Death Race had a notable influence on subsequent action films, particularly those involving vehicular combat. The film's focus on high-speed chases and intense action sequences can be seen in later movies that adopted similar themes and visual styles. Cultural impact. Death Race contributed to the broader genre of dystopian action films, influencing how such stories are told and portrayed. The film's mix of action, dystopian setting, and high-stakes competition resonated with audiences and set a precedent for future films exploring similar themes. Special effects. The practical effects and stunts in Death Race were achieved through a combination of real car modifications and CGI enhancements. This blend of practical and digital effects helped create a visually stunning and immersive experience, showcasing the advancements in filmmaking techniques used to bring the film's action to life. These fun facts and trivia not only offer insight into the making of Death Race but also highlight the film's connections to its predecessor and its impact on the action genre. The behind-the-scenes stories and hidden details provide a deeper appreciation for the creativity and effort involved in producing this high-octane film. 9. Conclusion. Recap. Summary of main points. Today we've taken a deep dive into Death Race, exploring its plot, characters, production, and much more. we've covered how the movie follows Jensen Ames, a former race car driver forced into a deadly competition to win his freedom. We've examined the film's gritty, dystopian setting, the key themes of survival and corruption, and the standout performances by Jason Statham, Natalie Martinez Joan, and Janaya Stephens. We discussed the film's production insights, including its director Paul W.S. Anderson's vision, the filming locations in Montreal, and the impressive stunts and effects that bring the high-speed action to life. We also uncovered some behind-the-scenes facts, such as Jason Statham's dedication to performing his own stunts and the challenges faced during production. We looked at how Death Race compares to its 1975 predecessor, Death Race 2000, noting the differences in tone, setting, and character portrayal. We also explored the movie's influences, including classics like Mad Max and The Running Man, and its legacy within the action genre. Lastly, we uncovered fun facts and trivia, including hidden nods to the original film and behind-the-scenes stories that add depth to the movie's creation. Final thoughts. Personal opinions. Overall, Death Race is a thrilling ride that combines intense action with a gripping story. The film's high-octane car chases and explosive stunts, coupled with its dark, dystopian setting, make for an exhilarating viewing experience. Jason Statham's charismatic performance and the movie's gritty atmosphere contributed to its appeal, offering fans of the action genre a solid dose of adrenaline. While it may not be perfect, Death Race succeeds in delivering a visually striking and entertaining film that holds a special place in the realm of action cinema. If you enjoyed this video and found the insights and facts about Death Race engaging, please give us a thumbs up. We'd love to hear your thoughts on the film in the comments below. What did you think of the action scenes and the characters? And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more movie reviews, interesting facts, and deep dives into your favorite films. Thanks for watching. We really appreciate your support and taking the time to dive into the world of Death Race with us. Your interest and engagement mean a lot, and we're thrilled to bring you content that explores the movies you love. Stay tuned for our next video, where we'll be exploring another thrilling movie with a deep dive into its story, characters, and behind-the-scenes secrets. We've got some exciting content lined up, and you won't want to miss it. So, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're the first to know when our next video drops. Once again, thank you for your support. We look forward to sharing more fascinating movie insights with you soon. Until then, take care and enjoy the films.